What's up, everybody? Spencer Lazari here, joined live by the model. Pretty cool nickname, man. You're going to give Luke Rockhold a run for his money. This man, Alan Jouban, making his UFC debut. An exciting time for you. A long time coming, would you say, here? You're going to be fighting Seth Baczynski in Maine this week.
Yeah. Saturday, fight week right now. And like you said, it's been a long time coming, man. I walked into my first Muay Thai gym roughly 8 years ago, and making my UFC debut this weekend. So yeah, a long time coming.
It's pretty crazy how you're able. We see that a little more nowadays of a guy who just kind of got into fighting. What did you have much background in martial arts prior to like, starting to fight?
I didn't, man. I didn't have any formal training. I always kind of had it in my blood. I always knew it was something that I wanted to pursue. Uh, but the first time that I actually took, a class, Muay Thai class or anything, was when I moved to LA about 8 years ago, and then from there it just took off.
And was it sort of something to stay in shape when you first went to the class? How'd that kind of come about?
Yeah, it was just something that I wanted to do. My wife, who then was my girlfriend, is Thai, and it was funny, she was Thai, we were talking Muay Thai. It kind of egged me on to go try out some Muay Thai. Started fighting Muay Thai right around that time, the Ultimate Fighter and whatnot was starting to really blow up. Eddie Bravo happened to start teaching class at that very gym after just beating Boiler in their very first match, and it took me a while to actually grab on to the jiu-jitsu part. I did just Muay Thai for about 3 years. I would always stare at the jiu-jitsu guys like they were crazy because they were on the mat rolling, and I was just more of a stand-up guy. But yeah, eventually I started hanging out with Eddie Bravo a lot more, and he started bringing me into the jiu-jitsu world, and then from there, obviously the obvious route was to take to go the MMA direction. So. It took off, man, and I've been loving doing it ever since.
Talk about the type of fighter that you are. I mean, you do work with a great guy like Eddie Bravo on your jiu-jitsu. I know you're constantly improving that, but you do seem to look to stand and use a pretty high level of athleticism you possess.
Yeah, I think my athleticism helps me. I feel like I'm able to pick up things pretty easily. Maybe sometimes I cheat the technique, I guess you could say, because I use my athleticism. But yeah, that's kind of what molded me into the fighter that I am. And you don't get to pick what kind of fighter you're gonna be. Maybe I don't know. Like some people might want to have knockout power, but hey, you're blessed with knockout power. You might want to have lightning speed, but it's just a gift. It just you're molded into the way you are through your teacher's techniques and then through your physical capabilities. And I didn't get to pick what kind of fighter I would be, but I'm very happy with the route that I took, and I guess you could say that what I finally became, because I absolutely love Muay Thai. I love doing the jiu-jitsu with the 10th Planet family, and I'm able to use my athleticism, my explosiveness, and athleticism in the cage, and usually it brings more exciting fights, and that's what fight fans want to see. That's what the UFC wants to have. So I'm glad that I'm that type of fighter.
Your last fight was against Ricky Legier, and another one of those, I guess, gifts you have is strength. I hear him in the corner say, in between first round, he's like, man, he's strong. He's really strong. And because that's a strong dude right there, with a wrestling background, so that's saying something.
Yeah, no, when I rewatched it, I saw that, and it made me happy, man. I guess all that extra strength training that I've been doing paid off. But it really what it was, is it was I've always had some strength. I've always trained and conditioned myself good. But when you add the technique with the strength, and that's when it becomes much stronger. And before, my wrestling defense wasn't that great, and then now I've been at Black House MMA now for about 6 months or so, working heavily with Kenny Johnson, who's done a lot for my game, and it paid off in that fight. That was the first fight that I really had Kenny in my corner, which gave me a ton of confidence. And he was coaching me when Ricky Legier was trying to take me down on the cage, and using that technique with my strength already really paid dividends in that fight, because he had a lot more trouble, I think, than he was expecting on taking me down.
Style-wise, I felt like you were sort of almost looking a little bit like Lyoto. Is there anything that he's kind of given you any tips while you've been in there, and is that something that you purposely kind of emulated at all?
I think it's just something that kind of kind of rubs off on you. Being at Black House, you see Lyoto in there a lot, and he's obviously one of the bigger leaders at the gym, one of the leaders at the gym, and a more respected guy. So, you see him doing stuff in the gym, and you scratch your head and want to try it out. You see him emulating those same moves in the cage, and they're working, then you really want to try them out. So, yeah, I think it kind of trickles down. Lyoto does stuff in the gym. Some of the other guys try it. When you're sparring against guys that have one style, you sometimes emulate that style. And so maybe some of his game rubbed off. But it wasn't purposely, It wasn't like Lyoto was telling me to do anything or he showed me any specific moves. But I think that I just being in the gym, being in those surroundings around Lyoto and all of our other teammates, that we kind of just all adopted that style somewhat. So it was cool, though. It's good to hear that.
Good style to have. He's a winner. Talk about your opponent now. A tough guy, a veteran. He's been around the block. Would you consider this a step up in competition for you?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, getting to the UFC is a step up in competition. Seth is a veteran. He's got 30 or so fights. This is going to be his 10th fight in the UFC. He's fought everybody. Tough guys. So, yeah, this is a big fight for me, a tough fight, a step up in competition, so to speak. The RFA did a great job of preparing me for this fight. I was already fighting top guys there, but obviously, Seth is a top guy, a top fighter. Speaking of styles, he's kind of changed his style as well. He's somewhat evolved. He's over at Alliance MMA now, I believe, down in San Diego, and his style is somewhat evolved because of the Dominique Cruz influence over at Alliance. You're starting to see a lot of fighters emulating with the switching stances, staying very active, a high output of strikes, kind of keeping you guessing. And we kind of saw that in Seth Baczynski's last fight against Thiago Alves, where he lost, but he got fight of the night, and he did, even though he, in a losing effort, he still did a lot of damage on Thiago because of this fluid movement. So yeah, it just shows everybody kind of adapts that style from their gym, and I consider Seth a tough opponent, but I'm very excited about this opponent. I'm kind of glad they didn't say bring me up my from RFA's my UFC debut and maybe gave me a legacy guy. I'm glad they're throwing me right into the to the shark tank against a tough UFC veteran. I just found out today that it looks like I got bumped up to the main card. So the opportunity's there, man. Fighting a tough guy. He's not a household name, but he's a name in the UFC kingdom. Everybody knows him in the UFC. And I'm on the main card on Fox Sports 1, so it's just a great opportunity for me to go and just take a hold of this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Technically sound, but we were talking the other day on Friday that maybe speed is an advantage for you. Where are your advantages in this fight?
Yeah, I think in the speed, I think that I am the better striker. I know I am the better striker, but he doesn't really. He's not the type of guy that really, if he goes against a high-level striker, that he's automatically shooting for takedowns. He strikes. He strikes with anybody. He's 6'3". He's a big guy. He's 6'3". He walks around over 200 pounds, so he's a very big welterweight. So he's going to strike with anybody with that kind of length and range, and he is a good striker himself. He's got some knockouts in the UFC, and like I said, even high-level strikers like Thiago Alves, he's able to do damage on, even if he loses. So, yeah, I feel I do have the speed advantage, a bit of a explosiveness and power advantage, and I don't know where we sit in the wrestling department. I think he probably tries to take people down a lot more than I do. I feel comfortable on the feet, so I don't really try a lot. And then our jiu-jitsu, it'd be fun to get a little grappling match going with him, see where he's at with his jiu-jitsu.
Right on, man. And I know you've got a son. He's growing up quick. Talk about having him and influencing him, and does he kind of know what you're doing yet at this point?
Yeah, no, I have a son. He's almost 2 years old, so he's still kind of up in the air about what's going on. His name's Cage. I named him, something that people should remember. And yeah, he loves it though, man. I mean, he's always playing with my boxing gloves and stuff. And every time he sees a fight on TV, which is pretty frequently, he says, "Daddy, Daddy." He thinks everybody that fights on TV is me. So it's funny, but yeah, all in all, it gives me something. I enjoy. I enjoy being able to inspire others, and I feel like this is what the UFC is giving me, an opportunity to inspire people and motivate people. And the same with my son. It gives me strength to know that I want him to look up to me one day and be proud of me. So absolutely, man. Family is always that strong backbone for me, at least, and accomplishing my dreams and providing for everybody.
And the modeling career and that stuff, that's kind of on hold at the moment, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I still do it. I still do some of it. I moved out to LA doing some modeling and acting. At this point, I'm in my 30s, and I'm no young buck, and I'm no skinny European catwalk model. In other words, when I do some modeling, it's like athletic stuff. I work for brands like Asics and Nike and Oakley. Where they just need an athletic guy that fits their clothes, and so that's pretty much the kind of modeling that I do. But I do commercials and stuff here in LA. I live in Hollywood, so it's like, why not? I'm out here. My son's only 2 years old, and I got him an agency as well. He's already booked a national commercial, so he's already got his college fund saving up. So it's kind of like, why not if you're out here? Everybody's kind of involved in industry, but it's definitely on hold right now. Fighting is what I'm passionate about. Not the acting or anything like that, not the modeling. It's fighting. So
we were just talking about you got to find some ways to extra supplement the bills anyway. We were just talking about that, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm hoping fighting will pay the bills full time soon enough.
What do you have to say? Luke Rockhold is kind of the reigning guy in the voting for best looking fighter. Are you gonna take this top spot or what?
Well, first of all, I didn't even know that they had this poll. But yeah, I'll see what happens. I'm not gonna. Sexy Yama's not in there. He's an 85er. Sexy Yama, he did a little while ago.
I'm sure if it was voting in Japan, he's probably up there, man.
He's big on the Asian market. I got it.
Well, cool. Yeah. Anything else you want to say? How about a little prediction or something for Saturday night?
Make sure and stay tuned, man. It's my debut. I might have to come out guns blazing. And either way, three of my last four fights with the RFA have been against tough competition, and 3 of those 4 fights I received a bonus, a performance of the night bonus or a fight of the night bonus, fight of the year award, my first fight with RFA, and a fight of the year nominee, my last fight.
Chris Bank fight was
a great fight. Seth Baczynski's coming off of the UFC fight of the night bonus as well. So you got 2 guys that bring it to every fight, both coming off of fight of the night bonuses. So make sure and stay tuned for this welterweight bout on this Saturday.
Excited to see it. Make sure you follow this man on Twitter at Alan Jouban, and check out his fights in RFA leading up to this one Saturday night in Maine. Thanks for taking the time, man. I know it's a little late and you want to get some rest, so we'll let you go, and safe travels to Maine tomorrow, and good luck for fight week. Enjoy it.
My pleasure, Spencer. Thank you, man.
All right, talk to you soon.
Take care, bro.